Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor. What is Leica? Leica makes your entire compliance process simple. Leica goes beyond integrations. Their platform connects to your everyday applications and applies actual human expertise to robust software that powers your compliance. Leica easily connects to your applications and instantly creates tailored policies based on your business. Then, compliance experts guide you through automated workflows designed to help you conquer certifications like SOC 2, HIPAA, and GDPR. Leica is the only compliance platform that offers a true integrated audit solution. No more messy spreadsheets, miscellaneous audit documents. Their team of experts manages your audit from beginning to end. Leica is more than just one solution. It maintains 100% confidence in your compliance program with custom monitors and alerts. As the compliance evangelist, I certainly understand the complexities around compliance, particularly around SOC 2, HIPAA, and GDPR. It's hard to unpack requirements when you may not know what they are within your budget and your growth stage. Leica is the solution for you. Listeners to this podcast get 20% off when you join. Visit heyleica.com/compliance to get their exclusive deal. That's heyleika.com/compliance to request a demo and get 20% off when you sign up with Leica. October 30, 2021, the Is That a Question edition. And we begin with that story from the New York Times, as the question posed by the New York Times is, did Trump's $300 million SPAC deal skirt securities laws? The former president began discussing a deal with a blank check company earlier this year, and of course, investors weren't told about them. There are precious little rules around SPACs, but that's one of them that the investors have to understand, that if a company's already, a SPAC rather, has already decided what to invest in, that has to be communicated. So these talks could draw scrutiny from the SEC. Hard to believe that Trump would engage in fraud or corruption, or that anyone working with him would engage in fraud or corruption, certainly based on his 4 years in office as the most corrupt president we've ever had. Nevertheless, financial markets are premised on trust. If the disclosure is not true, no one wants to participate in a market that is not fair. Welcome to Donald Trump. Next up, from Ethics Base, the Serious Fraud Office withheld potentially embarrassing evidence in the Unaoil probe a court heard. Attorneys for Zayed Aql said that the SFO withheld potentially embarrassing evidence about the conduct of senior executives during the investigation into the bribery at the oil and gas consultancy Unaoil. Aql, who was convicted and jailed last year, told 3 judges, or at least his counsel did, that the SFO withheld evidence that revealed the extent of the relationship between those senior officials, including Lisa Osofsky and an unofficial agent acting for the Ashani family who founded Unaoil. Of course, this agent was a former U.S. government employee and was sent by the Ashanis to try to convince the UK defendants who had worked at Unaoil to plead guilty. That whatever happens, the SFO is looking very, very bad. And then finally, or rather our last written story, is from the Wall Street Journal. And don't think a dysfunctional culture can cause problems. Well, there is a long article about the shooting death on the set of the Alec Baldwin movie and how it was really the dysfunction in terms of culture, in terms of safety, in terms of cost, which directly led to this shooting death. And finally, our last story is very different. I linked to podcast between Matt Kelly and myself on radical compliance, an emergency pod we posted today based upon the news of yesterday that the DOJ is going to ramp up their enforcement. I know it's the weekend, but if you have a chance, listen to Radical Compliance, the emergency podcast, and it's something you're going to need to inform your board about next week. Have a great weekend. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.